I am live in the right place now. Lucy just texted me, is everything okay? Got a bunch of trusted ladies wondering where the live is. I think there was a gremlins in the system and it just, I don't know. I was live. I see some of the people that came on and commented. It was all YouTube. So I don't know. I don't know who's seen the last 5 minutes, but I'm going to start again. Don't worry. So I hope you can see me there. They'll be saying, "Yay, Carol, hi." I don't know where I was. Probably like cuckoo land, more like it. I'm just looking. I think I went live on my channel and not on the not in the right place. I don't know what happened. Leanne's got me the thumbs up. So we are live and we are a good place now. Okay, cool. Well, never mind. We are here now. So okay, Aurelia. Or Aurelia. What we saying this wrong? Aurelia, that's it. Leanne gives these beautiful, wonderful names to these bracelets. And some of them is like, oh my God, I don't know how to say that. So she's like saying it to me over and over this morning, but it's still not sunk in. Never mind. It was really beautiful and clear this morning. It was quite cold when I took Roxy out for a walk, but now it's all foggy and I can't even see next door. Like it's like I can see the shape of the building, but I can't see the building. So let me know how's the weather where you are. Kitty coffee. Sharon is saying, yeah, I think I need a bit more than coffee. It's like you know, it's so stressful. Sometimes when you're trying to do something and it just doesn't happen, and like you like to say, oh well, I'll sit here for a little while and I'll like just like, you know, just go with it and then see like it might something in the system might comes all right, and then it actually doesn't. So okay, I'm quickly going to say hello. Morning, Debbie, Carol, good morning, Lucy, Joy, Mina, good morning. Camilla, here you are. How are you? I'm okay, thank you. Mina, thought you forgot about us. No, I would never forget about you lot. Good morning, Annie, Angela. This is saying, good to have you here. I got lots of messages from me. Get a search party out. Oh, bless. Good morning, Debbie. Sharon, good morning. Joy, good morning. Joe, good morning. Nice to see you here. Anna, good morning. It's sunny. Oh, that's lovely. We got sun as well somewhere behind all that fog. Good morning, Lisa. Diane, good morning. Now you're on Facebook. Brilliant. Debbie, cold and foggy in North Kent. She's saying good morning. Jenny's nice and sunny, but cold in Sudbury. Sudbury is actually not that far away from us. Good morning, Robin. Kimberly's saying brandy in your coffee. I don't think I got any brandy actually at all at home. Frosty and clear in Birmingham. Kim is saying, okay, so it's time is going on, so let's I'm going to pop you over to the website quickly, and then there we go. So I'm going to go back to the front page. So by now you know the drill. It's TotallyBeads.co.uk. You need to go to, and then you're going to get into either categories, video tutorials, or you're going to click on this button, video tutorials, on the right hand side at the top. You're going to come into the category, hundreds of tutorials, Aurelia bracelet I'm going to go in today. Every single time I say it, I have to think about it. Am I saying it right? So buy 2 get 15% off today. And I want to point something out, because what we're going to be doing is it's the same technique what we did last time, but it's going to be skinnier. So, and I'll show you the sample just in a sec. So if you go in size 11 seed beads, you get 1 gram, 1 times 10 gram bag, 2 times size 6 bags, or 20 grams. Sometimes they just put it all in one bag. You get a 3-loop magnetic clasp, but if you do the skinnier bracelet, you will be able to do 2 bracelets per kit, and then you can use the clasp for something else. Glass pearls, miracle beads, crystal round beads. So scroll down to the bottom and you have got your options here, and here is saying 2 free rope 10mm toggle clasp, and you're not going to get charged anything on the top of the price of the kit for it, but then that will be able to, you will be able to make 2 skinner bracelets, or this one is Kim's. I don't know what Kim's thing is frozen on there. Just take that off. There we go. So you're not going to get charged at all, but do put the little tick on there because then it comes up in a picking list for the guys in the warehouse. If you want printed instructions, the instructions will be for the version what we did before, and then the video will be today's because it's very, very similar. There's a couple of very like little different steps. So I'm just going to click back. The video for the last one is right on the top of the page, and then once we finish this one, the video for the new version is going to go right underneath it. So you're going to have both of them there. But if you want to make the two bracelets, then do click on. That's right. I'm going to come down on my table. I'm going to show you some of the colorways we did with the last one as well. Really beautiful. I love this technique because we kind of like creating a two layers to our bracelet. So we're gonna have a bottom layer, and then we're gonna create a top layer, sort of decorate the bottom layer. There is now. We have many colors on the website. You have seen them before. I always try to pick colors, and you can do like loads of different patterns. Sorry, I got some thread ends here, loads of different patterns on the top. Really it's up to you. Some of them I actually only got some little snippets, some of them I do have got the long bracelets here. I'll tell you what color is what just in a sec. Let me just get them all out of this box here. I think I got, oh no I haven't, and I need this one definitely. You know me, I can't stop myself with colors. Okay, so I'm just gonna check Blue Mist, which is this one. I do love this one because it has got the hematite beads on the back, because like sort of a grayish, but then on the top the crystals and the pearls I choose them have got like sort of grayish, but they do have like a blue shine to them, a blue a sort of a little bit of a blue color. This one is Crystal Lagoon, so again it's a grayish blue. I love my grayish blues. And the top, this one is more blue, so the Blue Mist is more into the gray, and this one is more into the blue. Both of them are really versatile because you can wear them for a lot of different things. Dove Shadow, I love this one. I have chosen a and this is what I got the other sample made up as well. I really do love this color. Again, a very neutral color, goes with everything. And the frosted seed beads just make the sparkle on the top sparkle even more. Let me just bring it up. There we go. Next one is the Grape Shimmer. I only got a little sample of this one, but it kind of shows you off. Like, look at those crystals, how sparkly they are. And again, as I said, all sorts of different patterns you can do on the front. Next one is the Hot Pink, which will be Lucy's favorite. I am 100% sure. Beautiful pink beads, and then the crystals and the pearls and the miracle beads on the front. The camera is dancing on backwards and forward. Lucy did pop the link in for us. Thank you very much. So you can see that that's on Facebook. Postman just delivered my order. Joy is saying, I got one bag of Toho seed. Would that be enough for one skinny bracelet? Yes, one bag will be enough for a skinny bracelet. So next color is the Ice White. I do love white jewelry as well, especially as the summer coming up. I love sort of putting together silver lined clear and just sort of a dash of white in there. The pearls are white, the miracle beads are the white ones, but they have got like a little bit of a gray hint to them. The camera, like, they really light up on the camera. They look like they're battery operated, but they're not. But I do love white colorways for the summer. Now next one is Ivory Gold. Again, beautiful color. Next one is Metallic Bronze, which is this one. I love bronzy colors as well. Purple, I love the purple as well. I love mixing purples with blues as well. Most of the time I do that. Next one is Cobalt, which is again got a nice blue back, and then pearls and miracle beads. And again, this is like a kind of different pattern from the pattern you did before. But even if you do like a little bit of a mix, like going up and down, if you just pick them up random, it's still gonna look really good. Next one is Starlight Pink, so it's gold and pink together. I do love gold and pink together as well. And last but not least is the Turquoise. And again, you're gonna make a base and add the beads on the top. Now, the skinny version I came up with is this, and that is this color. So the skinny take is this is the Death Shadow colorway. So when you make it wider, it does give you a nice sort of almost an inch wide bracelet on your wrist. However, if you want something skinnier, obviously we're going to do half the size. And what I wanted to do is to differentiate it and add something else more on the top of it as well. So I added a lattice design on the seed beads on the top, but that's going to be the last step to do how we're making the bracelet. First we're going to make the base, then we're going to add the beads on the top, and then we're going to add the lattice on the top as well. And the beauty of this, like, you don't have to add the lattice on the top, that's just like a little bit of an extra, but it can make really much of a difference. So I'm just going to grab some beads. I'm not sure which color do you want me to demo with. I got almost all of them here. Let's do I am either thinking to do, let's do the hematite one, because I love these blue beads so much. I think they would look really good. So I'm going to do the hematite one. Right, so to start with, I'm going to grab some thread, and I have been tidying up and moving things around. And you know how does that go when you move things around? You can, I just need to move those. You can never really find what you're looking for. So I'm going to use a silver thread, because although the seed beads are darker, so I could get away with darker thread, but the beads are kind of lighter. So with the thread, I'm going to go in between the colors themselves, and I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to get started. So the base is based on square stitch. Grape shimmer is showing out of stock. Leanne just gonna have a look at that and see what's happening. Sometimes if one like component goes out of stock, the whole thing goes out of stock, and sometimes you do have more stock, but like not loaded onto the system. So good morning, Charlotte. Right, okay, so I'm gonna get started. So instead, in this version, we did a 3 bead square stitch, and you can kind of like cheat, because you can add 2 beads at the same time, which like how this sample was made up. I grab another one. This one is 1 bead at a time, so you can see like the thread path. This one is between 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and this one you got a thread path between every single beads, but that was covered in the first video, so do check that one out. Now for the 3 bead version, I'm gonna stitch in between every single bead. So I'm gonna start, I always pick up, like you start with 4 beads, but I always kind of pick up the length of the width of my square stitch. So I know I'm doing a 3 bead, I picked 3 up, I'm going to slide these all the way down, then I'm going to pick up an extra one because I'm starting a new row. This is my tail end at the top here, so my thread was traveling that way. So I'm going to come from my tail end, and I'm going to come through this very last bead from my tail end to my working end and pull this up. So I'm sewing these 2 beads together, and they're just going to sit side by side just like that. Then I'm going to go through the new bead just added, pull this up and pick up another seed bead. Now I'm going to sew this seed bead to the second one. So I'm going to come back on myself from the tail end and sew this bead to the second one, then go straight through that bead again. And finally, I'm going to pick up another one and sew this to the very first bead I added, and again come through that very first one. Now before I go into another row, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go all the way down on row 1. So I'm sewing all of row 1 together and come all the way back on row 2. So I'm sewing row 2 together as well. Pearls are out of silk. I'm sure Leanne's going to have a look and see what's happening. And then I'm going to start another row. So I'm exiting at the top. I can flip-flop this. I'm always working away from myself, or I can keep it exactly the same direction and sort of work backwards and forwards with the rows. I haven't turned it, so I kept it in exactly the same position. So my thread is exiting at the top on the very first bead. So now I'm gonna be working with these 3 beads. So every single time when I finish a row, those are the beads I'm going to be working. They're going to be kind of like my base row going forward. So I picked up a seed bead, my thread is exiting at the top. I'm going to come from the other side and go through that bead again. So I've sewn a single bead to that bead there. Now I'm going to come down the bead just added. I'm going to pick up another one and I'm going to sew this one to the second bead. And pull this up nice and tight, make sure they're sitting in. I'm going to take my thread and come through that bead just added, and then I'm going to add the third one to the bottom one in the same manner, and again come back down. Then I'm going to go all the way up on row 2 and then come down on row 3 all the way before I move on to row 4, because you can see like row 3 is kind of like a little gappy, but once we come through and with that sort of extra circle, we pull those beads together so they sit nicely and tightly together. And I'm going to repeat this for the length of the bracelet. Now the beauty in square stitch that I haven't got my bobbin off, so at a later stage I then can go and work my way towards the other end if I need to, but you go through these beads so many times. This is such a solid, I don't know if I got a better word really, a solid sort of technique, because even if I cut any of those bracelets in half, the beads wouldn't fall off because I've been through them so many times that they kind of just like stick together. The connection is between them being reinforced so many times, and I really do love using this technique as a base. We have made, I think we had other, I can't remember the name of it, but we had other bracelets with this technique as well, adding crystals on the top. I'm going to let the tail end go because now I have got a bit of bead work there I can hold on to. And I'm just going to keep on going and adding a few more rows. Then I'm going to show you how to add the clasp. And then I'm going to show you how to do the decorating on the top. So this one is the blue mist. In theory, if you wanted to, you could like be sewing 3 beads together with a lattice stitch for a base, but I think it's much more secure when you do and stitch every single one of them, because we are working with size 6 beads here, so they're not, I guess they're not that small. Oh, I just looped it around. There we go. Turning it the right way. Right, and then coming down and starting the next row. And I'm going to pick up another one. Now, most of the kits I have chosen the same size 6 and size 11 seed beads, but that doesn't mean you can't sort of interchange them and then use different smaller seed beads with the larger seed beads. Good morning, Patricia, nice to see you here. Nice sunny day in Hull, Yorkshire, she says. It was sort of sunny this morning, but then now we just got a lot of fog. But I think the sun will come out soon. It's very still out there, and although I'm not the biggest fan of fog, but it's just so still. There's just no movement at all. And I went down to the seafront with Roxy this morning, and she had a little bit of a run, and she found this dog and made a new friend, and they were just running around for, I don't know, a good 20 minutes, but it was so still down there. So even though it was cold, it was freezing cold, you didn't really feel the cold so much because the icy wind wasn't present at all. Right, so I'm just going to keep adding my seed beads. I'm going to add a few more, maybe 2-3 more rows, and then I can show you how to add the end. Don't need to sit here, otherwise I would be sitting here all morning for me, just like sort of stitching beads together. But I just need a little bit of length so I can show you how to decorate the top. Kitty always gives us so many choices, but always something for everyone. I just love putting colors together. Like, that's my favorite thing on the world, because like I think we are all kind of like different. We all prefer different colors. My go-tos are blues and turquoises and aquas, but lately I have bought sort of a khaki green, like an olivey green tops as well. So we do change as well, as I think, as we go through life, and I just love experimenting with colors. And sometimes like putting a tiny bit of orange in the red just makes the red look like really good, or you know, a tiny bit of pink in gold, or purple, all sorts of different colors. Good morning, Mary. So I am, let's just see, maybe a couple more rows, so we got a bit of a length. And I need to find my size 11 beads. I don't know what I've done with my size 11 beads. I'm just saying, like, one more row and one more row, and I keep on going. Like, this is the thing, it's so addictive. Like, you just want to do one more row and one more row. Right, I'm gonna grab the size 11s. I don't know what I've done with the little packet. So I have a look. They will be in a tube behind me, or somewhere in 81 they are, I think. We're looking at that one there, perhaps. If not, because we have been, or we find something else. Another color. No, I need 81 one. It's the hematite color. I got. Okay. Is that it? Yes, I got it. Brilliant. Thank you. Somebody help! I'll be fine. Oh, I don't know what's going on this morning. Right, I'm going to grab the clasp as well, and then I'm going to show you how to add the end, and then how to do the top. So you got a choice with the top to do, like, you know, you can add 1, 2, 3, all 3 colors. You can make patterns as well on the top as well. I quite like to have like the 3 different beads right there. I'm just going to cut this down to get some of those crystals off. So I'm going to alternate them into 3s. You can ombre them, so go backwards and forwards. You can like put them stripy. You can put them on an angle as well. That you could do, that would look really good. So we got, and I need the pearl. So as I'm coming out of this very last bead here, what I want to do, I want to circle around. So I want to add the clasp right into the middle. And with toggle clasp, the one thing what I find, and sometimes we kind of make the mistake of it, that especially with the T-bar, but with this as well. So the way how we sew it on, we need to be able to, this end, to be able to turn around and round and round. And I'm just going to show you the finished sample here. Because like otherwise, like it will turn back, but if this end is rigid, then your T-bar is always going to sit a certain way, and when you're trying to do up, you might have a little trouble. And we do that by adding an extra bead, like I call this a turning bead, and I'll show you how to do that just there. So I'm going to go up on the row before all the way, and then I'm just going to come through the very first bead here. I'm going to pick up 2 size 11s. I'm going to pick up 1 size 6. But to be honest, this could be this Turner bead, could be a miracle bead, or could be a pearl. It doesn't really matter what you're going to add there. So I'm going to pick up a size 6. Then I'm going to pick up 2, you can even pick up 3 seed beads, go through the loop, another 2 or 3, so I'm matching the other side. I'm going to slide this all the way down, then I'm going to come back towards the bracelet in that turner, that size 6 bead. I'm going to make sure to pull this up nice and tight. I'm going to pick up an extra 2 seed bead, sorry. I'm going to jump over this middle and go out on the other side. So I came in at the top and went and added my clasp, and then coming out at the bottom. I'm going to weave my thread around, and I'm going to go around the whole. I'm going to go through the first 2 bead this time. So I'm sewing the clasp to that middle seed bead as well on my bracelet. I'm going to go all the way around and then come down. You can go around 2 or 3 times. The more you go through your clasp, the stronger the connection is going to be. And then go into the middle one and to the side. So if I wanted to, I can run around one more time, strengthening the connection there. But I'm going to start going ahead and adding my top, and the pattern I want to add on the top. So I'm going to pick up one size 11, one crystal. I'll start with a crystal, one size 11, another crystal, and another size 11. And with the bracelet, when we were adding the long rows on here, we were able to cheat. And if you see it, they're kind of slightly sitting on the angle because we're coming out on one row here and we're going it straight to the next row. So we can just continuously go round and round and round the bracelet all the way to the top, because it's a wider bracelet. If I did this, and I'm just going to slide this down and show you on this bracelet, because it's quite skinny. So if I went straight into the second row, and probably it's only would really show up if I added a few rows, but then you would really see that they're sitting slightly like crossed on the bracelet. So you're going to have to follow a little bit of a different thread path. So as I'm coming out of the bottom of row 1, I'm going to come through the whole of row 1 from the top, just like that. I'm going to pull this up so it sits on the top, and before I add any further beads, I'm going to go up on row 2, the whole of row through. Then I'm ready to pick up my beads. So seed bead, I'm going to pick up a miracle bead, seed bead, miracle bead, seed bead. Whatever pattern you want to add, you're going to be adding 2 4mm bead and 3 seed beads. I'm going to slide this down, and as I'm coming out of the top of the second row there, I'm going to come from the bottom, go to that row one more time. I'm going to make sure that this doesn't get caught on the row before, and then I'm going to come down on row 3 to be able to add further beads. And this time I'm going to be adding the pearls. So seed bead, pearl, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, and I'm coming through that row 3 again, and then so make sure you don't get any rogue threads and the loops are kind of sitting on top of the row they meant to sit. And then going up on row 4, and I'm going to repeat it from the beginning, so it will be crystals I'm adding. After the crystals I'm going to be adding miracle beads and then pearls again. So I'm just going to add a few more rows, and then I show you how to do that little decoration on the top if you wanted to add, but you don't have to add. Like, you know, your bracelet would be suffice enough and would quite pretty just with the pearls and crystals on the top like that as well. What do we think so far? Do let me know in the comments. So crystal, next one is miracle bead we need to add. I just like sometimes to take it like a little bit more and add a little bit of decoration on top, but you might do it for one bracelet and you don't want to do it for the other. You can do partially as well. You don't have to add the little diamonds on top of every single one. You could just add it to every third or fourth one. I'm adding pearls in this row. If anybody's got a question, please put a Q in front of the question so I know that's for me and I can make sure that I read it out. Coming through, I'm adding crystals again, and I'm just keep adding over and over again the same pattern. But you could work out your own pattern and do all sorts of different lovely patterns. Right, let's see, let's add maybe 3 or 4 more, so we got a good amount to add our top on. So miracle beads next. I'm always adding 2 4mm between 3 seed beads. Again, I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't loop over. If that happens, I'm just pulling it and then it jumps back, pulling it and then making sure that it is gonna pull to the right place. Then going down and adding the next one, which is going to be pearls. There we go. So start with a seed bead and then finish with the seed bead, but it's very important to add that middle seed bead in between the two, because that's where we're gonna anchor the top row into. Right, crystal. Would you go through them to reinforce the beads? You could if you wanted to, but I think you like the bottom, the top part is just a decoration. The bottom part is what's holding your bracelet up, and you go through the bottom part so many times that that it's gonna be solid no matter what. Right, so if let's imagine went all the way down and this is like a 7-inch bracelet or 8-inch bracelet, whichever size you need to, and on this side we added the clasp as well, and then we're ready to turn around and then add a decoration on the shop. Come in saying coffee, thank you. So what I'm going to do after adding the clasp on the other side, I'm going to come in the very first loop added, and I want to come out of the seed bead right in the middle there. I'm going to pick up 2 size 11 seed beads, and my thread is exiting towards the bottom here, so I'm going to go up in the middle seed bead on the next loop. Then I'm going to pick up another 2 seed beads, and I'm going to come down on the very first loop in the middle seed bead. So I'm just created, and if you want to, you don't have to add the corners for your little diamonds, but you can have more of like an O setting here if you wanted to. If you want to add the corners, then what you want to do is to go through these 2, and we're going to sort of run around one more time, come to the single one, and then if you wanted to, if you don't want to add the corners, we would just carry on and do the next bit. But if I want to add the corners, I'm going to circle back. So I'm going to go through the first seed bead one more time, pick up a single seed bead, then go through the second one on this side. So what I'm doing, and as I'm pulling this up, you can see that third seed bead is just going to sit between seed bead number 1 and number 2 we added on the top there. Can you see? And it's going to create more of like a picot finish, more of like a corner to it. Then I'm going to weave my thread around. I'm going to come through the middle seed bead on the first loop, and then 1 seed bead of the 2, pick up another seed, and then continue my thread until I come through the middle seed bead on the second loop. And don't get your thread throat in the gut. I'm tongue-tied this morning. What's going on? Thread caught at the bottom, and then we created like a little diamond. Now I'm going to repeat this over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wrap the end around my finger there so it doesn't get caught. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. I'm going to come through the middle seed bead on the third loop. So my thread was exiting at the top, so I'm going to come from top to bottom, pick up another 2, go back up through the second one, and then if I want to, you can leave this one plain and add a corner to the next one if you want to. I kind of like to do the same thing all the way around if I'm doing it. So I'm going to come through and then come through that middle on the third loop. I'm gonna, in between the two added, pick up a single seed bead, then go up in between the two seed beads at the top just added, and pick up a seed bead and add one in there as well. And I'm just going to keep repeating, sort of circling around my units as I go along. And every single time I finish a unit, I just kind of sort of step along and start over and over again. And adding a little decoration to the top of a bracelet like this, it might take you an extra half an hour, but I think it makes it a bit more unique. It gives itself a bit of a charm. You can add your single seed bead straight after you finish the loop, but what happens, so I kind of like to circle down and around. What happens if I start adding it now? That, and I'm going to do that to show you, so it doesn't really matter, you can do it this way as long as you're adding one in between. But if you start at the top, then once you've gone around, you still have to come down to the bottom, and once you forced a single seed bead in between the two, like they're quite, the two seed beads as they're sitting on there, they're quite loose, but once you force the single seed bead in there, the pattern is kind of become solid, and from here you still have to get to the next seed bead. So just weave your thread around. So it doesn't really matter if you add or if you do that half a turn before or after as you're adding your beads. For me, I like to do it kind of after, because then I'm ready to add the next unit there and then.
Grape shimmer is back in stock.
Grape shimmer is back in stock, Leanne just said. Or was it they sorted out the stock in the warehouse? Bless them. I'm just going to adding the singles in. I'm going to add maybe one or two more. Anybody's got a question, please pop the question in so I can make sure I answer it for you. If you buy two, you get 15% off the kits today. And don't forget to, when you go into your kit, you need to scroll down to the bottom and add the two toggle clasps, because they are free. There's no extra charge for the toggle clasp, but you physically have to add it onto your order so they know in the warehouse to pick it with it if you want to make the two skinnier bracelets. If you just want to make the thicker version, then the 3 loop toggle clasp is already in the kit. And I would go along and add all of these beads on the top. Now you could do different colors if you wanted to. With this, you could have the corners different color if you wanted to. That would work really nicely as well. I'm kind of realizing now that I'm choosing such a like a darker color. It's not really showing up that well on the camera, but I think you get sort of the feeling. How is it done? But something like this would work on a lot of different projects. So with this one, we kind of got 3 layers to the bracelet, because we got the base layer, the square stitch, then we got the next layer where we added the decoration beads, and now we're adding a third layer. We're adding decoration beads on top of the decoration beads. And what it's actually going to do, because if I added smaller beads at the top, then my bracelet will be more straighter. If I added larger beads on the top, then my bracelet kind of would curve more. But it's kind of the right amount, because if I show you this one, it naturally has got this beautiful curve in the bracelet itself once you add that one on the top. And just gonna go along all the way, adding onto your bracelet. I really do like the little decoration right on top. And even after this, if you wanted to, you could go back and add something in the middle to make it, you know, there's so many different things. Like, this is what it's beautiful in beadwork, that you can do what exactly you want to do. Let me just hold it up so you can see it well. Maybe I should have zoomed in a little bit more. I was trying to figure out what you were doing with the size 11 seed beads, but once it's done, I see it now. Yeah, there you go. So we're just creating those little diamonds on the top but we need the size 11 seed bead in the middle of the 2 beads, because that's what we anchoring into. Very pretty make. This is saying thank you. Would make a nice top for a ring with a thinner band. Yeah, absolutely. You could do a ring. You probably will have enough materials left in your kit to do a ring, because for a ring what I would do is I would still do the band all the way around with the bigger beads, but you only need to add, I probably need to add maybe 2 more. You only want the top part where it's showing. So it's quite comfortable in between your fingers. So for me, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tops. So it would make a beautiful ring as well. There's so many different things you could do. Right. Okay. So that's it for me today. I will be live. I'm heading into Bead Club, and actually we are doing rings in the Bead Club today. Let me just grab one and put it on. I'm gonna grab a pink one just because Lucy's here. We got all sorts of different colors we're gonna be doing today. Let's grab another one as well. I'll show you 2. So I'm heading into the Bead Club, and we're doing sort of rings with purple cabochons. Quite an easy make and quite a quick make as well. That's what we're doing in the Bead Club. I'm live tonight. I'm not sure what I'm playing with. We'll see. I've got so many different ideas, and I have been doing sort of research and recon and like looking all sorts of different things and looking at beads and putting the colors together and all sorts of stuff. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be playing with tonight yet, but we will see. So I'll be live 7 p.m. there on Kitty Robinson Designs. Otherwise, I'll be back here next Wednesday with you and everybody. I'm just going to bring the colors back quickly so you can see them in real life, because like they look nice on the picture, but I think they look nicer when you kind of move them about. This is saying Bead Club in an hour. I better go put myself in the shower. Go on then, hurry up, hon. And we see you there. We got so many different colors, so don't forget, each kit will make either 1 thicker bracelet as it done before, or 2 thinner ones. I'm just gonna move. Wouldn't it be nice to have like I always want to do like a cover for a book or something, to have something like this, like all of them put together. I think that would look really good. Right, everybody, do check out the website. 15% off if you buy 2 kits, and I see you very